Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Apple stock. This is one of our most requested names here on the channel, and ultimately one of the names which has been having a lot of turbulence here over the last few weeks. So in this video, I hope to show you guys a very clear picture on what could be happening over these next few weeks to months time frame with Apple, but additionally how you should trade this name in order to profit massively here over the next few trading days. Now, in order to get an understanding on why we should buy or short Apple stock, I want to show you guys a short clip from Jim Cramer's show Mad Money, and in this clip it's hard to tell if he's having a stroke or just regularly being himself, but let's listen to some of the things he says about Apple stock because they are actually really valuable.
With Apple, the problems are obviously temporary. They took a $6 billion hit, what they would have made, so to speak, because of supply chain woes. And they can't get their hands on enough semiconductors, just like everybody else, which is why their phone and accessories business came in weaker than expected. Still, Tim did tell me that while he still expects record quarters, that shortage could get worse. So why would I still like Apple? I mean, let's see, the revenues didn't beat. He's talking about the next quarter maybe not being as great as I wanted. Well, the good news is Apple's an amazing brand, okay? Its brand is business deferred, not business lost.
Now, after watching this clip, we can see that the essential point that he is trying to make is that Apple stock is not massively losing from its supply chain shortages and lower device sales last quarter, but instead that this demand has simply been pushed or shifted into the future where there will be more devices available. So although this could be partly true, I do feel that he makes a better point about how investors are always impatient, and all things considered, Apple did underperform on its last earnings, so this is part of the reason why we should definitely take this with a grain of salt. And even though we know that Apple could potentially recover in the future, right now in the short term, this is definitely a negative point for the stock and will lead us right into my technical analysis. Now, before we can start making any sort of profits here with Apple stock, there are two critical things to understand, and that's going to be the short-term picture of what's happening and the longer-term picture of what's happening. So right now we are on TradingView, and this is the technical analysis picture for what will be happening with Apple stock. As you can see, the longer-term picture is what we're going to be looking at first, as my chart is set to the 1 day time frame. So every single one of these candles that you are seeing on the chart right now are worth around 1 day of trading time, and this is going to be one of the main ways that we can see what the overall picture is for Apple and ultimately what could be happening in the long term. So you can see that we've had three major resistance points with Apple, one at around the $137 a share mark, the second one was around $144 a share, and the third most recent one was here at $156 a share, where Apple still hasn't been able to test that price again. And ultimately, Apple is in a growing direction, as you can see from this longer term trend, but right now it is at a critical point where investors need to decide, well, is this stock going to maybe trend back up to 156 and then see another bounce down, or is it going to bounce all the way down before seeing strength again with the rest of the market? So in order to understand which one of these two scenarios is most likely to happen, I want to zoom in here from the daily time frame to the 1 hour time frame. So again, all this means is that the candlesticks are now worth 1 hour each on the chart, and this is going to show us a more zoomed in picture of the price action on Apple. So now that we are on a shorter time frame here for Apple stock, we can begin to identify what's been happening in the short term and ultimately what could be happening not in the next few months or years time, but what could be happening over the next few days. Now, as you can see here with Apple stock, we are ultimately still respecting that longer term channel even in the short term, but there is also a secondary channel which has been forming here on the name Apple stock, and that's going to be this channel right here. You can see that over the last few weeks, Apple stock has been consistently trending upwards within this channel, and one of the major things to watch with this channel, and one of the reasons why I even take time to show this to you guys, is because every time the channel has broken in the downside or broken to the upside, we have seen a massive run for the next hour or two, which has given us massive potential to make an options trade. So the last time this stock broke above 154 and above this pink channel in the short term, you can see that we got a very good run from around 151 to 154 or 156, which was the highest price recorded on Apple stock, and vice versa. When we got a break to the downside out of this channel, we saw a massive run to around 137, which also would have yielded us a great potential for profit. So again, guys, the reason why I'm identifying this channel is because every time we see a break either to the upside or to the downside, it has caused a run in Apple stock and a potential point where anybody who trades options could have been profiting. So over the next few trading days here, the most critical thing about this pattern is going to see whether we see a break to the downside, possibly around $147 a share, and a test on our longer term trend, which was the second scenario that I just showed you guys when we were on the daily time frame. Or potentially, will we see a break to the upside above $155 a share, which could take us above to 160. Ultimately, this scenario I feel like is more unlikely, seeing how bearish the market is right now and considering that Apple just missed their earnings report. But either way, in either of these two scenarios, we are setting up to profit massively. So this week, guys, make sure you're watching for a break below either $148 a share or possibly a break above $154 to $155 a share, which would be that key sign that we are breaking out in either of those two directions. And again, guys, if you want to stay updated with all of my daily trades, plays, and signals, make sure you check out the free Discord, which is linked in the description below. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe because I'll have more of your favorite names, Apple, AMD, etc., coming very, very soon here over the next week.